Yeah.
The NCAA tournament we touched on a bit earlier, Kentucky, Wisconsin. That game got a 13.3 overnight rating,
Wow.
highest TV rating for the national semifinals game in 22 years. So highest Final Four game in 22 years since Chris Webber took on Kentucky when he played for the Fab Five and Michigan in 1993. That's also the game before Chris Webber decided to call a timeout when Michigan had none.
That's not yours.
Wisconsin basketball advances to their first title game since 1941. That is a 74-year gap, longest in NCAA tournament history. Also, longtime Division III head coach Bo Ryan, who is the Wisconsin head coach, and you can check out the article I sent out as well with quotes from Bo Ryan talking about losing to Carleton in 2013, where he talks about kind of his experience playing against the Ravens, which is kind of a cool OUA tie-in. Check that from our Twitter account at OUA Today. It's a good reminder, though, Bo Ryan, a guy coming from Division III, that there's a lot of great coaches at a lot of different levels. A lot of guys who are very worthy. He spent 15 years at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, where the motto for the school I looked at this morning is what college should be. Cool. It's not like an old Latin one like ad optimum numerus or something. It's like, hey, this is what college should be.
It should be sweet.
D3, sweet. He's won 4 Big Ten Coaches of the Year as well. 2002, 2003, then a 10-year gap. 2013, 2015. A lot of coaches aren't given the stability to be able to go. And again, this is not
that long.
And the Coach of the Year isn't always indicative of how the team does, but to have a 10-year break between being worthy for something like that, that's kind of nice to see.
You know, I heard an interesting quote saying the day that a coach is hired is the same day he's fired.
Yeah.
Just the end date is undecided.
Yeah.
And it's so true. There's so much pressure. I mean, no
Unless
wonder
you're Bill
these guys.
Belichick.
Then you're in it for the long haul.
Or Sean Payton. I know you're a big Saints fan.
That's true.
He'll be around for a long time. I mean, that guy got
true.
suspended for a full year and came back and signed a new contract. It's like a 5-year.
You know, Marsh, I'm still not over the whole Jimmy Graham thing, so
I know.
I really don't want to.
We never gave you your time. Let's not get into Jimmy Graham because we'll be sitting here for the next hour. We'll dig into Narinder's show for like the 40th week in a row.
I'm sorry.
After Wisconsin was able to beat Kentucky with all those first-year players that are all going to the NBA, they're going to have 7 NBA draft picks. Amos Connolly of the McMaster men's basketball team tweeted out, "Veterans, get it done." Totally agree. Great game, said Terry Cook, who I met in Ottawa, who works in politics here in Hamilton. Horrible officiating, shot clock violation and flagrant missed with the aid of the monitor. Both easy calls in the final 3. That was so sketchy to me. A guy threw an open hand punch from Kentucky late in the game, and they went to the monitor and looked at it and were like, nope, that's fine. That's not good. If you're going to the monitor to review something, you think you should get a pretty good look at it. There was nothing basketball about that play, so that was very questionable to me. We won't touch on baseball. We'll save that because the baseball season does start today. Looking forward to that. It actually started last night. The Chicago Cubs playing at home. I love me some baseball.
Jays are away, yeah?
Yeah, they play at the Yankees to start the season. What should be a sellout. I feel bad for Marcus Stroman, pitcher that tore his ACL fielding bunts in spring training, because he's a Brooklyn guy, and he was planning on being the opening day starter at Yankee Stadium, where he, again, it's the new Yankee Stadium, not the old one, but he grew up going to games at old Yankee Stadium, so I know he would have loved to, because I have so much personal experience with Marcus. We talk lots, and he's very disappointed.
We're going to get him on the show next week.
Yeah, maybe not.
Or he'll be in class.
But Alex Anthopoulos, the general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, who signed Marcus Stroman, McMaster graduate. So maybe we can get him on. He has an OUA tie. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Women's Final Four also going on. UConn, 81-58 win over Maryland last night. Kia Nurse, who is actually from Hamilton, was the American Athletic Conference Rookie of the Year. She is the sister of Darnell Nurse, who plays for the Edmonton Oilers, and the niece of Donovan McNabb, former NFL quarterback.
Athletics runs in the family, man.
That's a big one for them. Notre Dame also won 66-65 over South Carolina. Notre Dame's head coach, my favorite name in women's basketball, Muffet McGraw. That's the name. It sounds like a Muppet. All 4 number 1 seeds advanced in the women's NCAA tournament, so they move on, and that's pretty cool. We will save the NCAA versus CIS basketball talk as well.
Yes, there's so much to say.
Once we see how Wisconsin does, because Wisconsin is the comparable right now. That's what we're kind of talking about. But we'll save that a little bit. Henry Burris, last thing I wanted to touch on here before we get into the last couple of things. He's trying to become a Canadian citizen. The quarterback for the Ottawa Redblacks spent 16 years of his life in Canada, but can't get citizenship. It's kind of crazy to think about that. They consider it a part-time job. That's why, because he spends 6 to 8 months here, and then he goes back to Philadelphia. He went to Temple University. I got to know Henry when he was a Ticat. He is the nicest human on the planet. Like, there's not one person that I can say I enjoyed spending more time with than him. On the Ottawa Sun's front page today, they said the Feds say that they will work with Henry Burris of the Ottawa Redblacks in order to try and fix up the citizenship snafu. So hopefully he gets it, because if Henry Burris becomes a Canadian, we might have found a way to get a Canadian quarterback in the CFL.
Woohoo! And if you need any signatures, we will start a petition on OUA and get those for you. We'll get Corey Bellamore's family up in it.
And then you'll get 390 votes immediately. without even having to try. Which, by the way,
isn't like that.
I should check on the early results of our voting going on right now. But that'd be pretty cool if Henry Burris gets citizenship, because we found a way to get a Canadian quarterback in the CFL. Just had to sneak him in the back door, get an American in, stay here long enough, change your citizenship, and boom. You're a Canadian quarterback. All right, let's get to our tweet of the week.
Tweet of the week. Wow. Twitter.
I was too lazy to make my own tweet of the week thing, so that's Lee Ellis from The Starters, who used to be the Basketball Jones here in Canada. Check out their podcast at The Starters. They're on NBA TV. This one comes from Thomas Scrub. I'm starting to think that the Scrub brothers are just tweeting on Sunday nights just to piss me off, just to create a tweet that I have to read on air because they come up with these things that you can't ignore. And they send them out. Like, thanks was the one that you like to think about. Coming from Phil
I was
Scrub.
going to talk about that again today, but I was like, okay, I got to calm down on
I know.
the scrubbage.
I know. It works so well, though. But Thomas Scrub said this week, Mario Party is the most rigged video game of all time. Can't disagree.
Most rigged?
Okay. I just love that because he's like a guy who's finishing his university career, and yet he is complaining about a game that we've all played since we were 6 years old. So.
Yeah. Maybe you just been playing Peach too long.
Yeah, maybe. We'll
try some Bowser out.
Let's get to the big finish for you right now. Finish off the show on this Monday, April 6th. Hope that everyone enjoyed the show. I'd like to wish a happy birthday to Nipissing Lakers athletic therapist Mackenzie Daly and Lakers men's hockey player Stephen Deeg. Congratulations to the University of Toronto Varsity Blues women's volleyball players Angie, Kate, and alumni Leah for receiving the University of Toronto KPE Dean's Leadership Award. Very cool award there. Congrats to all Western Mustangs that recently received their varsity rings as part of graduation. That's pretty cool. Wish we got that. They just have like a big purple ring that has the Western logo on it. Wear that anywhere. Shout out to Golden Hawk swimmer Kate Vanderbeek with a Pan Am Trials time of 2 minutes 22 seconds, almost 2 seconds better than she was at the CIS Championships. Congratulations to Isabella Onishko. Brandon Manitoba gymnast captured gold and silver medals Sunday at the World Cup gymnastics competition. 16-year-old won the balance beam and finished second in the floor exercises. And Laurier football players took the anti-bullying oath during a Westmount High School assembly this past week. It was Kwaku Boateng, Brian Lawrence, and Will Wiltshire. So in the middle of their spring camp, they were able to get themselves into a high school and do a little bit of community involvement. So that's very cool. Hope you enjoyed the show. Amanda, was there anything else that you wanted to get in?
I have one last thing. This is the first show and quite a few that Marshall has not mentioned Foxcatcher.
Yeah, proud of myself.
So
I went to rehab over the weekend, spent some time watching other quality movies, and I've moved on.
You can follow us at... Marsh, you love this part.
No, it's okay. This is you.
Okay, at OUA Today, at Marsh2Fergs, at Weldon Amanda, and at Scott2 Hasty isn't here today, but you can follow him too. He has good things to say.
Yes, he always does. We look forward to having him back on the show. We are back next Monday. Right now, we'll leave you with our video pick of the week on the video podcast side. This week, it is a video put together by ex-York pole vaulter who was actually the 2010 York University Female Athlete of the Year. It's called Who You Are. It's Heather Hamilton, York pole vault. She's the Canadian University record holder and two-time CIS champion.
When I started vaulting, it was always about the result. You either make the bar or you don't. I put so much pressure on myself to constantly be better. And that's just the competitive nature of my personality. But the great thing that pole vault's done for me is that it forces you to have a balance of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It's one of those things that is a true reflection of who you are. When I'm vaulting, it's sometimes like an out-of-body experience. You don't have to think about it. It just happens. Your personality, your work ethic, your confidence, your own spin on things, your own style. It all comes together in this inspiring sense of artistic expression. And if anything is out of balance, you know right away. But it always seems like at the right time, there's something that happens that forces your humility back. And it's that humble confidence that you have to take with you. I've been pretty lucky in a very short period of time to learn a lot about myself as a person, as a competitor, as a friend, what sport actually does for you and how it develops you as a person. is pretty incredible.